Good morning. Jim asked us to say hello to everybody. The end of this session, we are going to say ni hao to everybody afterwards. Ni means you, hao is good. You good means hello. Today, in addition to share the story, the birth of Chinese, I also have the mission to teach you a few words of Chinese symbols. I grew up in a family when we don't buy art because we make them. My grandfather is the professor of ceramic art, the same as my father. My mother is a calligrapher. Between my parents, they made this. Even my 10-year-old daughter, she drew those paintings. My 8-year-old son, he made those. Since I was very young, I realized that I actually struggled to understand my left and right brain. So I decided to study science after I realized that I just don't have the talent my family has. And I became the black sheep of the family. It was not until I moved to the UK and then my British-born children struggled and hated to learn Chinese. I said, I need to do something with it. As a geek, I broke down thousands of Chinese characters on my computer. I wanted to know, is there any pattern? I break them down, I prioritize them, and then I try to find, is there any clue can help us to make Chinese learning much easier? After 3 years of research, I started teaching my kids on the napkin. The family activity turned into a TED Talk in 2013. And after that, everything went viral. Hundreds of thousands of people now are learning Chinese through social media, through our website, through our publications. And we also have some really unexpected recognitions by the world organizations in design, in learning, and we are totally flattered. That was not what we were looking for. And we also have hundreds of thousands of fans. They follow us religiously on the internet, trying to see if there are any new characters released, is there any new stories and new etymology we can share with them. So how does this method work? It is like a Lego toy, the way I put it away. If we break down thousands of characters, and then we pick up a few important ones, by recognizing those few, then I can show you how to reconstruct many more. This is a person. 2 people together, that means to follow. 3 of them, that means the crowd. If the person stretched the arms wide, this person is saying, that was this big. Put the pin on top of big. That means adult men. Because in ancient China, men had long hair. They put the hair up and put the pin on top. A big person is an adult. Big crowd is a public. Crowd people means people. And the man and the person, that means madame, because in ancient China, people, the women, they were the possession of the men. So men's person is the madame. Person and a fish is a mermaid. On the left, we have a woman. 2 women together, they have an argument. 3 together, that means adultery. People laugh when I talk about the story, but they actually don't understand. That's based on very sad historical fact. The shape of the woman was originally from the shape of woman kneeling on the floor bowing to her man. That shows gender inequality. So 2 women together, that refers to, in ancient China, people lived underneath the same roof with 3 generations. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law naturally just don't get on. This is a boy. A woman and a boy together, that means good. Earlier, when I said ni hao, that is this character, because the woman was only good when she had a boy. This is a king. A female king is the queen. The son of the king is the prince. Work. Working person is a worker. Person's work means artificial. Female worker is female worker. This is mouth. A person and mouth together, that means population. That's from the ruler's perspective. This is water. The water coming out from the mouth is the saliva. Water cow is a buffalo. We not only take Chinese as the educational project, it's also a design project. For example, character for woman, we try the French style and we try the Japanese style, whichever works. We also try different type of design to see whether or not people can perceive this character the way we would like them to see. This is a character for horse, so we try this. We also try this. We play with the colors, and eventually that's the one most of the people chose. So whenever we design a character, I show my children, and let me tell you, they're not very polite. So if it didn't work, they will tell me, and we go back and draw again. So every single character, it is just like childbirth. So we not only draw objects, because in modern days, there are many complicated concepts, abstractions. So for example, this is a character for how many? How many? How can I draw how many? You can draw a woman, you can draw a boy, a cow, a sheep. How many? This is how we do. This is to all, how to draw verbs. A symbol like that, like spaghetti, how to draw to all. So we draw this, a person owing you the money. This is self, very abstract. How to draw it? We do it this way. West, how about a cowboy? North, what? North, how to express north? We make fun of some political leaders. This is half. We experiment different angles. How about half of the apples? People will say apple. Half of the orange, people may say orange. We decided to do it this way. This is gold. Yeah, I can make a gold color, but does that show you how to recognize the symbols? We made fun of hip-hop singers. We also make animations, so people can learn how to draw. Learning Chinese characters, it's also like learning playing the guitar or piano. You need the correct fingerings. So we make animations to show people, and by combining with the sound, they will learn how to pronounce it. We also tell stories. This is the story. We use 10 spreads in the book to tell the story of Peter and the wolf. So for me, this is an experiment. We try to push the boundary. And also we look for the patterns. And the pattern, just like if you look at a star, that's the sky we see. Westerners, they see this. In China, in the same sky, they saw this. So the whole purpose of the project is to allow people to understand China with their own eyes and appreciate Chinese language with their own understanding. So the economics here, if we look at the English learners, there are 2.3 billion people in the world learning English as the second language. Less than 100 million people are learning Chinese. Is that because they don't want to learn? Or because they think it's too hard to learn? I think it's the latter. We want to make it easy. Also, if we look at our followers, they are all over the world, and many of them, they take learning Chinese as a third language. That says a lot in terms of demography. We also look at the motivation why they are learning. They learn because it's fun. So we decided to make it international on day one, and then we also explore different ways of learning. We want to play, so I just designed this game, which I haven't launched yet. It's a board game to show people how to play. We also try to make apps, make it digital and available for many people, and we also did an experiment on children. Here is actually in my daughter's school. I had 40 children together, and I made some fake tattoos with 20 different designs. And then they started sticking on themselves. I was very amazed to see almost 100% of them. They got it right. And when I experiment that on adults, actually they are much more reluctant to guess, and they are much more complex. Because when children, they see a symbol, they will guess, and if they get it wrong, it's fine. But adults, they get really nervous. They are so afraid that will get it wrong. So a purpose today after the talk is to let you know, It's not that hard. Ancient Chinese men, they are not that intelligent. They saw their wife, they drew a woman on the cave. They saw the sun, they drew a circle. They saw a dog, they drew a dog, and that's it. And then if they want to communicate something more complicated, they put things together to rest. A verb, how to use it. They put a person next to a tree. Because there was no Starbucks in ancient China, people rested against the tree. So Chinese language is easy. So what is the opportunity here in addition to allowing people to understand, to decipher this incredible language? A few applications we might want to explore. For example, preverbal children. Nowadays, preverbal children, the only way of communicating is to cry. But is there any way we can teach them to recognize the symbols, therefore they can communicate with their parents much more easily at much earlier stage? Also, I had an experiment by looking at the 15 foreign editions of my book. I realized I was learning foreign language. With the same symbol, on the French edition, I found I was learning French too. On the Russian edition, I realized I was learning Russian. Can we do the reverse Chinese to apply to different languages? I would like to explore more, and for us, this is a very meaningful project because for me, learning English is a foreign language. I started learning this about 14 years ago when I moved to the UK from scratch. I went through the pain, but going through the pain also gives me the joy that I can appreciate English culture, English language. I can understand people better, and I can really appreciate their body language, their mentality, and philosophy. I would like to do the reverse version for other language. Thank you very much.